Hey homesteaders, so I'm laying out a new lasagna garden. I am getting ready to plant some corn on it, and you don't need to have a real thick garden for the corn, but it does like to have its roots. So I just want to show you what I have going on here. These are a couple of boxes I have. You can pick up boxes from Costco, Aldi, whoever has any boxes, and just rip them apart. Just make sure all the plastic tape is off of it. So like you can see where I've ripped plastic tape off of all of these. There's nothing shiny left on there. Shipping labels are paper and will break down, so those are fine. And I am just going to prop you up, show you what I'm doing with it. I'm going to put gloves on to protect my hands, and I've got boots on to protect my feet while I'm out here. Just because, and yes, I'm in a skort. So let's see, where's the edges? I'm just going to rip the glue apart. These are not very wet, unfortunately. I've got my hose back here to wet it down. Because I'm going to wet the cardboard down real good after I get these boxes broken apart and opened. Like I said, I want to protect my hands and not end up with major paper cuts. Nothing's worse than a cardboard box paper cut. Okay, almost there we go, got it open. So you can do several layers of cardboard boxes on top of each other. Just make sure that you've got a good healthy layer of it down here, and then I'm going to wet this down. Okay. There we go. Get that down. So these are just boxes we picked up from Costco. Not stuff that we actually bought, but just boxes we picked up. Pick them up, pick them up, pick them up. Lay them out. This is your foundation for your lasagna garden. This is a no-till method, so you don't have to worry about having any fancy schmancy farm gear for gardening if you don't have any. Not a big deal. Let's see, I should pull this back a little bit. Yeah. There it is. That's going to be an area that I'm going to put corn. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be big enough to lay out the corn. You see it's sticking up some. I've got my hose right there. I'm going to go around. I'm going to water this, and then I'm going to start topping it off. I'll show you what I'm topping it off with once I start doing it. All right, got my cardboard laid out. I forgot about a nice big box that I had in the house. Now I'm just going to water it through the fence because my hose doesn't quite reach back there. So I'm going to give this cardboard a good soaking. So real quick, I'm inside because it's really hot and humid outside. Jason's doing some of the grunt work of layering my lasagna garden, and I wanted to show you my seed pack. So this is the corn I'm going to plant this year. I planted one called honey corn last year that I got the seeds from Pikes. I would plant it again because it came up, it was very prolific, but I've lost the seed pack. So hopefully I will find that soon. But this is what I'm planting this year. This is an heirloom corn, so that means it's non-GMO. This is called an orchard baby, and you see it compared to a penny. It's like basically mini corn cobs. The back of it says, direct sow into the richest soil available, which is pretty much going to be your lasagna garden soil. 1 to 2 weeks before the last spring frost. Succession planting prolongs harvest. So basically, I didn't get it planted obviously 1 to 2 weeks before the last frost because it's the end of May and it's hot outside. Succession planting means that you can plant throughout the planting season. So however long your planting season is, you can plant throughout that season as long as you are harvesting. Let's see, sprouts in 7 to 10 days. So as long as you're harvesting within maybe 2 months. Since it sprouts so quickly, and it does sprout really quickly. I planted last year and it was up within like 3 days. All of a sudden I had little baby sprouts coming up, and I was so excited because it was my first time direct sowing seed, and the corn just popped up. It was fantastic. One thing that I did learn is that corn, if you shuck corn, you have the husk and you have what's called the silks, those little hairs that come out of the top. Each of those little hairs is connected to a kernel. So they cross-pollinate each other, which means that if those corn plants are on the outer edges, hi sweetie, put that poor rabbit down. The corn that's on the outer edges is not going to pollinate as well as the corn that's on the inside. So last year when I planted my corn, I planted it in 2 rows because that's what I had space for. And I planted 1 row of 4 in the front, and then like 2 plants back, I planted 1 row of 4 toward the back. And I got corn, but I had a lot of underdeveloped kernels because the silks were not able to cross-pollinate with each other because the corn was so far apart. So if you're planting corn, you need to plant it in a square. I'm going to be planting in a 9x9, or a 3x3, I'm sorry. A 3x3 to have 9 this year. And it says on the back of this seed pack, planted blocks. It didn't on the one that I had from Pikes. It's going to have full sun. 9 inches apart is the planting, which actually is not that far apart when you consider that tomatoes need like 2 feet, melons need 3 feet. Like 9 inches is nothing. You can plant a lot of corn in a very small space. It grows tall and it's not real wide, so it really doesn't take up a whole lot of space, and you can get a lot of corn. And as you know, corn is in like everything, so you can choose to grow different varieties of corn, and you can make your own stone ground grits. You can make your own, you can grow your own popcorn kernels. You can grow corn to feed your animals. You can grow corn that you like to eat. You can grow sweet corn. You can grow shoe peg corn, which is crunchier corn. Like, you can grow all kinds of different corn. So it's up to you on what you want to grow, but corn is a very easy starter item to grow. So now that that is said, I'm going to head back to the lasagna garden. I'm going to put these in the ground and show you our progress back there. It's only been 10 minutes since my last showing in the video. This is taking no time at all. I'll be right back. All right, so I've been gone literally like 3 minutes. Jason did a lot of this. Farmer Jason out there. This is a mixture. So this is my finished lasagna garden. Took about, probably took about 15 minutes total to put this together. So cardboard on the bottom, and then we had bags of leaves and stuff that we'd gotten from neighborhoods that people were just throwing away. So this is leaves, and they're grass clippings and free mulch, and it's all mixed together, and it's our rabbit's droppings mixed in there. I'll be throwing those in as well. If you have chicken poop, you can scrape that into a bucket of water and let it sit for a day and water your garden with poop soup. I know that's kind of gross, but it is fantastic for your garden. We've been throwing our banana peels back in the garden. Like, we've been throwing like the ends of tomatoes, the ends of potatoes, like whatever we have that is compost is coming back here into the garden. And it can be added to this. Hi, Snowball. Hi, Eliana. Snowball, thank you for your droppings. She says, no problem. In exchange for the good stuff. And Jason's about to water this again. So we watered the cardboard down. You want to have a good wet soil for your seeds. It doesn't go any further. I had to do it through the fence, but it's fine. It got it. Thank you, Farmer Jason. He just preached today on husbands not being embittered toward your wives for the responsibilities they give you. So yeah, it is. So he's having to put that to work today, aren't you, baby? Not being bitter toward me for the work I'm making you do. Hey! Yeah, so I added the sticks as boundaries, mainly for, well, it needs a good soaking. You can actually, there's a soaker option on it that really, it's like a heavy spray. That one was a mist. We are supposed to get some rain too, which will be good. But I added sticks around the edges just so that we could see it and not run over it with a lawnmower. Because that keeps happening to my blueberries. They keep getting run over by the lawnmower out in the field. So we're having to make sure we mark them. So yeah, the cardboard will break down, and the nice thing about cardboard is roots can actually penetrate the cardboard to get in the ground below, and the ground below is going to be really rich with dead grass and probably earthworms under it once it gets nice and moist down there and this sits for a bit and starts breaking down, so it just becomes part of the ecosystem, and that is what we want. So thank you, Jay. Put him up to it. But this will grow quite a bit of corn, so every 9 inches, and I'm going to plant on the end, so every 9 inches is probably going to be about my entire package of corn. So your fingertip, boop, you have about 1 inch there on your fingertip. So that's usually how I measure, is I just kind of drill my finger, and I'll show you. I'm going to do it on the end. Corn needs to be planted about 1 to 2 inches down, and I'm just going to drill my finger in there, and then I'm going to take my corn. Hello, corn. I got to open it first. Hey, sir. Are you done? Almost. Okay, just give me a second. Let me plant the corn. All right. Looks like popcorn, right? That's what the seeds look like. I'm gonna drop it in. Give it a cover. So that's there. I'm gonna go ahead and measure. Drop another one in. Give it a cover. Drop another one in. Give it a cover. And I'm gonna do that through the whole thing. So my first one was right here next to this leaf with a hole in it, and I'm going to kind of stick that up to mark where my very first one is, because I'm going to do the whole row across. I'm going to go the row down, and in all likelihood all these seeds are going to get used, because my packet doesn't come with too terribly many, and I'm going to end up with a nice row of corn that will probably start popping up out of the ground as early as next week. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching the progression of a lasagna garden as it's being put in. It's super easy to do. Oh, look, there's already a bug. Yay, ecosystem. Roly-polies. I love roly-polies. Anyway, and that you learned something and that you feel confident to do this yourself. Like, let me flip this in. Don't be afraid to garden and try things for yourself. And it's not too late in the season to grow things. But with things going as they are with the food chain and the food supply, it's really imperative that if you're going to fail, you do it this year and learn some things from it. Learn from your failures, get your garden in. Don't be afraid to try different things. I'm trying a lot of different stuff this year because I want to grow things that my family actually eats, like potatoes and onions and melons and beans and all of that stuff. These are all new to me this year. So I'm going to try, and if I fail, I fail, and I've learned something, and next year we might be in more of a situation where I need to succeed. So I've learned this year, and I can apply what I've learned and do better next year. So it's okay to fail. It's okay if I fail with this corn, but hopefully I will not, and we'll have a beautiful harvest of corn in a very small footprint of space. I mean, this is actually a very small space that this is going, and I'm going to be running my soaker hose through the fence and back here to keep this all nice and moist during the course of its growth period, and that will be that. So I will see you guys next time. I'm going to get the rest of this corn in the ground and start watching it grow. See ya. Bye.